Donor fatigue is real. And what does that mean as we enter into the third year of NIL? Welcome to episode 250 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Donor fatigue, it's real. Collectives and university athletic departments are trying to become more creative to keep the donors engaged, but it's real. Donor fatigue. Let's get into the great article written by Eric Prosbell on 3NIL, what donor fatigue means as NIL enters its third year of impacting college sports. This is a fantastic article. We're not going to go through the whole thing. It's a long, incredibly written article by Eric Prosbell. We'll provide a link in the description. You can read the whole article. We're just going to get to some of the big bullet points here. As the NIL era celebrates its second birthday, as we go into the third year of NIL, allow Walker Jones to lay out the symptoms of an industry-wide ailment: donor fatigue. When Jones relaunched the Ole Miss Focus Grow Collective early last fall, the Rebels were thriving. They had a 7-0 record, a number 7 national ranking, and Jones couldn't reel in the donors' dollars fast enough. Then came 4 straight losses to close the football season. Combined with that, a disappointing men's basketball campaign, and suddenly donors weren't as quick to dig deep into their pockets. The dynamic to varying degrees is playing out on many campuses nationwide. With the third anniversary of NIL and college sports coming on July 1st, On 3 is looking back at the newsmakers that shaped the second year of NIL era, along with focusing on the storylines that impact its third year. The thirst for success ignites the pursuit of a large war chest. Table stakes in the high stakes recruiting and retention game. Heightened on-field expectations. No doubt about that. On-field expectations has only heightened following all these dollars from the donors. Only elevate the need for more robust war chests. With further fuels visions of rosters strewn with 5-star performers, wash and repeat, the space is engulfed in a feed the beast cycle with a hefty price tag and no end point. If you're not winning the championship, donors are going to say, man, screw this. Jones is executive director of the collective. Said of the industry in general, I gave dollars under the impression this was going to help us win championships and be competitive. And if you're not doing it every single year, the cost still goes up. And that's a problem. There is a growing feeling. Is this going to be a reality every year? And is the price going to continue to increase? If we raised $6 million last year, is it going to have to be $9 million next year? And then $12 million? If it doesn't change, are we stuck with the same marketplace that we are today? It's not sustainable for 95% donor-funded model. Holy smokes, a lot of great points there in the first few paragraphs of this incredible article. There's a paragraph here, can the current NFL collective model survive? We're going to skip over that. The new weight on athletic departments. Donor fatigue may require a lot of athletic departments to pivot. Not long ago, possessing the newest glittering cutting-edge facilities and locker rooms was all the rage, intensifying an arm race to create recruiting advantages for those with the bells and whistles. You all remember that. The donors would put in millions and millions of dollars for a new weight room, for a new athletic village. Those were the things that the donors were investing in. Now it's NIL, names, image, and likeness for the players. Take the predicament of Maryland's football team, a great example, which last year moved into a beautiful $149 million football-only facility. Great building, wrong era. Unfortunately, we moved in at the times when facilities have been de-emphasized in the recruit's mind, in the student-athlete's mind, in the football player's mind. The guys who are being recruited, it ain't so much about the facilities anymore. It's not so much about the whirlpool pool. It's not so much about the recovery whirlpool that they're looking at. Now it's about the NIL dollars. Terrapins football coach Mike Locksley told The Athletic because they get dressed in the trash can for $25,000. They don't care where they're getting dressed. They don't care what the locker room looks like. They want the $25,000, and so would I, and I would probably say most of you would as well. Again, we're skipping over most of this article. It's a huge article, incredibly written. We'll provide a link in the description box. You can read the whole thing. Essential for their survival. As donors are increasingly pulled in two directions, it's vital for the athletic departments to turn over every rock in search of new donors. Every rock. It is vital and essential to find those fans that are hidden. They want to engage, but they just haven't been asked. Until 18 months ago to 2 years ago at the start of the NIL, the focus was not on the hidden fan. Now they know that it's essential to do it for their survival. In other words, these collectives are not just going for the big whales, for the big donors anymore. It's about the little guy. It's about the little woman donating to the athletic department little by little bit every single month. It all adds up. There are more donors and more money coming in, but it's being split between schools and collectives. The onus is also on the NIL collective to continue to innovate. Dan Luss, a sports attorney and law professor at New York Law School and Fordham University School of Law, said collectives must be creative because the pool of money from people who donate to schools is a finite source. We're going to go back. We're going to go to the what are the other pools of dollars out there. The collective landscape, of course, is not monolithic. Fatigue varies from market to market. Cody Campbell, the co-founder of Texas Tech Collective, the Matador Club, says where it's really fatiguing is where recruits were paid big dollars out front and they didn't pan out or wound up racing into the transfer portal. With the Matador Club, however, they've seen a financial upswing. Campbell said they now have some 4,000 donors raising $8 million during the 22-23 academic year. More sophisticated collectives are making concerted efforts to diversify revenue streams. That enables them to avoid being so reliant on the conventional booster donations. Most collectives now have an e-commerce component. None do it as successfully as Tennessee's Focus Spry Sports Group, one of the nation's most ambitious collectives. Broadly speaking, Spry's co-founder James Clausen said now they have 2,800 members who account for an average of $36 each month. In total, he said the collective raises 12 to 14 million annually. Some 33% of the members live out of state. Expanding their reach even further remains a priority. The donors want to win. They see the plan that we have in place, Clausen said. We're going to start doing more targeted ads, almost identical to how a political campaign would start targeting fundraising dollars. Take that mentality from different folks in political arena to kind of tap into what makes them so successful. So you're going to be seeing, just like we've seen the campaigns out there targeting ads for potential donors and voters, we're going to be seeing the same thing with these collectives, representing these university athletic departments, going out there and getting the small dollar donations, not just the big whales, but the small dollar donations. We're going to skip all the way back to the last paragraph here. Again, we provide a link, read the whole thing. It's an incredible article. New model taking center stage. Donor fatigue needs to be assessed against the backdrop of further change on the horizon. Sources don't expect collectives to go away. They're not going away. But other revenue sources for athletes, particularly if a revenue sharing model is introduced, may be in play. One prominent NIL source noted that the median revenue for a Power 5 athletic program is some $126 million, with 41% going to staff, coaches, and severance, and just 11%, only 11% going to athletes. That's going to take center stage, the source said. That's the money shot, the PATC money shot. You know how much we like talking about the Holy Smokes Theater, center stage. That's going to take center stage. Only 11% right now is going to the athletes. One way to counter fatigue in the short term is to hammer home with the donors that is all short term. Reinforce that these type of donations are needed for perhaps only 2 more years, because reading the tea leaves, assessing the potential ramifications of Johnson versus NCAA case, we are a maximum of 3 years away from a revenue sharing model. A revenue sharing model. So, what this article is trying to say, what people in this article are alluding to, is that things are going to change here. A maximum of 3 years away. It's probably going to happen in the next couple of years. Revenue sharing with the student athletes from the schools, conferences, or both. And that's what we've been talking about at Peek Around the Corner since the very first episode on August 10th of 2022. Episode 1, our manifesto. The world is changing. The donors. The reason why USC called the Big Ten, and we broke that here at Peek Around the Corner on March 31st, 2022, was because the donors did not want to double dip. They were going to support the NIL, but they couldn't support the rest of the athletic department. USC needed to upgrade themselves into the Big Ten to get that media revenue money that was coming in. Exactly the same reason why Oklahoma and Texas called the SEC previously. It's why Oregon and Washington keep swinging to try to get into the Big Ten. It's the reason why the top branded ACC schools are going to be looking very hard to try to get out of the ACC grant of rights, because the revenue sharing model is a coming to the student athletes. It is a large part going to be coming from the massive media company, media money, revenue that comes into the SEC in the Big Ten. And the top branded ACC schools are not going to get that money. Oregon and Washington are not going to get that money. The top schools in the Big 12 are not going to get that money. That's what's going on. That's the straw that is stirring the drink. The revenue sharing model, the revenue, how the money is getting shared with the student athletes is all going to change in the next couple of years. And everybody is trying to position themselves to get that money. The university, the athletic departments, the presidents, the athletic directors, and of course, the student athletes themselves. So what is going on with these collectives? They're trying to be more diversified. They're trying not just to get the big whales, but they're trying to get the smaller donations, just like in a political campaign. But they're also telling these collectives, athletic departments, collectives are telling these donors, this is only going to be a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year solution, because revenue going to the student athletes is going to happen through the schools, the conferences, or both. Put down your comments and thoughts. What do you think about this incredible article written here by Mr. Prosbell at On3NIL? Give me your thoughts and comments. This is the straw that is stirring the drink. New revenue sharing to the student athletes. It's a coming, and it's a coming fast. Until next time. From all of us at PATC, to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.